The opening sequence of Dexter is a masterclass in cinematic storytelling. At first glance, the opening appears to depict a series of mundane, everyday actions: a man waking up, flossing his teeth, shaving, preparing breakfast. These activities are so routine, so ordinary, that they could easily be a depiction of any average day. However, what makes this sequence genius is how it transforms these simple tasks into something deeply unsettling and ominous. Through the clever use of extreme close-ups, jump cuts, and a calculated sense of discomfort, the sequence imbues what should be familiar with a sense of unease and tension, setting the tone for the dark, psychological drama that unfolds. One of the most striking elements of the Dexter opening is the cinematography. The camera choices are deliberate and designed to make the viewer feel claustrophobic. Extreme close-ups of Dexter's hands, his face, the sharp edge of his razor, and the drip of blood from a cut render even the most basic activities unnerving. The use of extreme close-ups isolates the character from his environment, focusing on the tactile and often visceral details of his actions. The close-up shots of his hands, meticulously tying his shoelaces or cracking an egg, are so intimate that they seem to strip away any sense of distance or normalcy, presenting these gestures as almost surgical in their precision. The close-up of the razor slicing through his skin as he shaves is particularly effective in this regard. What should be a mundane action is transformed into something dangerous, reminding the viewer that Dexter is a man capable of violence, even in the most intimate of moments. In addition to the close-ups, Dexter employs jump cuts to heighten the discomfort. The quick, disorienting transitions between the different tasks Dexter performs create a fractured sense of time and space. One moment he's making coffee, and the next he's cutting an orange, with little to no smooth transition between the two. This jarring effect makes the viewer feel ungrounded, as if the sequence is intentionally fragmenting the sense of order that is typically associated with routine. The jump cuts seem to mirror Dexter's fractured psyche, underscoring the notion that while his outward life is orderly, his mind is anything but. There's a tension between what we see and what we know about Dexter as a character. His calm exterior betrays the violence simmering beneath. The unsettling atmosphere is further amplified by the sequence's soundtrack. The use of soft, eerie music, combined with the diegetic sounds of Dexter's daily actions, the slicing of fruit, the click of a knife, adds to the discomfort. These sounds, when placed in the context of the intimate close-ups, take on a sinister edge. The music and sound design combine to create a sense of dread, as if at any moment the tranquil facade of Dexter's morning routine could shatter into something more brutal and chaotic. The rhythm of his actions, matched with the editing and sound, gives the impression of a man in complete control, yet that control seems fragile, like it could slip away at any moment. Moreover, the juxtaposition of the mundane with the malevolent works on a psychological level. The opening sequence lulls the viewer into a false sense of security, with its seemingly harmless depiction of an ordinary man doing ordinary things. But the more closely we watch, the more we sense that something is off. Dexter's routine is too precise, too calculated. Even as he carefully consumes his breakfast, there's something methodical and robotic about his movements. This dissonance between the normal and the abnormal is what makes the sequence so genius. It forces the viewer to question the true nature of the character, even before the story fully unfolds. Dexter's calm and deliberate mannerisms are eerily disconnected from the violence we know he is capable of, and the audience is left with the unsettling realization that these everyday actions might be part of a much darker ritual. The brilliance of the Dexter opening sequence lies in its ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. It's not the tasks themselves that are unnerving, but the way they are presented. Through the extreme close-ups, jump cuts, and sound design, the sequence elevates the mundane to a level of tension and unease. The visual style mirrors the psychological complexity of Dexter's character. The dissection of everyday moments becomes a metaphor for his deeper, darker instincts. By focusing on these routine activities, the show cleverly foreshadows the violence that lurks beneath Dexter's calm exterior. What we are left with is a masterful opening that draws us in, not with overt violence or gore, but with the tension and discomfort inherent in the smallest, most intimate details of everyday life. In conclusion, the Dexter opening sequence is a brilliant example of how cinema can transform the mundane into something far more menacing. Through the careful use of cinematography, editing, and sound, the show takes something as simple as a man preparing breakfast and turns it into a chilling exploration of the ordinary, making the viewer aware of the subtle yet powerful darkness lurking behind even the most routine actions. This genius opening perfectly sets the stage for the complex, morally ambiguous world of Dexter, where nothing is ever truly as simple as it seems.